Prince Harry stood on the balcony of his $14 million mansion, watching the Californian sun dip below the horizon. It was the picture of the American dream, the freedom he had traded his royal title for. But inside the house, on the marble kitchen island, lay a single envelope that threatened to burn that dream to ash. It wasn't a fan letter. It wasn't a royalty check from Netflix. It was a sterile, white envelope with the seal of the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, in the top left corner. Harry's hands trembled slightly as he held the paper. The language was bureaucratic, cold, and terrifyingly precise. Notice of intent to revoke. Subject, visa status review. Reason, discrepancies in sworn testimony regarding controlled substance use. Meghan walked into the room. She saw his face before she saw the letter. The color had drained from him. The man who had faced Taliban fighters in Afghanistan looked paralyzed. They did it, Harry whispered, his voice barely audible over the hum of the refrigerator. He actually did it. For months, Donald Trump had warned them on the campaign trail. He had called Harry a betrayer of the Queen. He had hinted that the Biden administration had protected the prince like a rare bird. But Harry thought it was just bluster, just political theater. He was wrong. The theater was over. The eviction notice had just arrived. On December 26, 2025, the most famous immigrant in America woke up to find that his welcome had expired. This is not just a celebrity gossip story. This is a clash of titans. On one side, the 47th President of the United States, wielding the full force of executive power. On the other, the Duke of Sussex, a man who thought his bloodline made him untouchable. But in America, there are no titles. There is only the law. And according to the new administration, Prince Harry is no longer a guest of honor. He is a liar who cheated the system. Today, we take you inside the legal war that could see a king's son put on a plane in handcuffs. To understand why Harry is facing exile, we have to look at the weapon used against him. Paradoxically, it is a weapon he forged himself. His memoir, Spare. When Harry wrote the book, he wanted to be raw and honest. He wanted to show the world his pain. He detailed, with almost poetic specificity, his use of cocaine as a teenager, his experiments with magic mushrooms at a party in Los Angeles, and his use of psychedelics to treat trauma. It sold millions of copies. It made him rich. But every copy sold was also a piece of evidence. We spoke to James Miller, a former immigration prosecutor. He shook his head as he read the excerpts. It's an open and shut case, Miller explains. When you apply for a U.S. visa, specifically the O-1 or the generic tourist visa, question number 23 asks, have you ever violated any law relating to controlled substances? If Harry answered yes, he would have been denied entry. If he answered no, he committed perjury. And now, he has written a book confessing to the crime. He handed the prosecutor the smoking gun. The Heritage Foundation, a conservative think tank, had been suing to release Harry's visa application for years. They argued that no one is above the law. Under Biden, the files were kept sealed. But Trump's Department of Justice didn't just unseal them. They weaponized them. Let's go to Washington. The mood in the West Wing is not one of subtle diplomacy. It is one of aggressive enforcement. Donald Trump has never hidden his disdain for the Sussexes. He famously said, I wouldn't protect him. He betrayed the Queen. That's unforgivable. But there is a personal angle too. Meghan Markle had called Trump misogynistic and divisive back in 2016. Trump has a long memory. Sources inside the White House describe the decision as a symbolic strike. It sends a message to the American public: the elites play by the same rules as you. If a Mexican farmworker can be deported for a drug offense, why should a British prince be allowed to stay in a $14 million mansion after admitting to cocaine use? It is brilliant populism. It pits the common man against the global elite. And Harry walked right into the trap. Harry isn't going down without a fight. His legal team, costing thousands of dollars an hour, has filed an emergency injunction. Their argument? Political persecution. The Duke of Sussex is being targeted solely because of his high profile and the president's personal animosity, his lead attorney stated on the steps of a federal court. Admissions in a book are not the same as a criminal conviction. This is a witch hunt disguised as border enforcement. They are arguing that the book was artistic expression or dramatized memory. They are trying to walk back the very truth Harry claimed was so important. But the DHS response was brutal. In a leaked memo, the agency replied, the applicant verified the contents of the book in multiple television interviews. He cannot claim it is fiction when it suits him and fact when it sells books. Harry is trapped in his own narrative. To save his visa, he has to admit he lied in his book. To save his credibility, he has to admit he lied on his visa. Checkmate. Across the ocean, the silence is deafening. When a British citizen is in trouble abroad, usually the Foreign Office intervenes. But for Prince Harry, the phone lines between London and Washington are dead. King Charles III loves his son. But King Charles III is also the head of a state that relies on the special relationship with the US. He cannot be seen fighting the American president to protect a son who spent the last 3 years attacking the monarchy. We spoke to a royal insider, a former aide to Prince William. There is no panic in the palace, the aide whispered. There is relief. No, that's too strong. Let's call it resignation. William is furious. He believes Harry made his bed. If America kicks him out, the fear is that he comes back here. And nobody, I mean nobody, in the firm wants that. Imagine the humiliation. The prince who left to find freedom returning with his tail between his legs, deported like a common criminal. It would be the final nail in the coffin of the Sussex brand. The deportation threat has revealed something else, the shallowness of their American friends. In 2021, Oprah, Tyler Perry, and the Clooneys were surrounding them. But now, as the Trump administration circles, the phone has stopped ringing. Hollywood is a town that fears power. No studio executive wants to anger the White House. No one wants to be audited by the IRS or face regulatory scrutiny because they are hosting the enemy of the state. Harry and Meghan are finding themselves in a social quarantine. They are too toxic for the royals, and now, too risky for Hollywood. They are drifting in a void of their own making that we must not forget the innocent casualties. Archie and Lilibet. They are American citizens by birth. Harry is not. If Harry is deported, the family faces a tearing choice. Does Meghan stay in California with the children? Does she go to England, a country she vowed never to return to? Or do they go into exile in a third country, Canada, perhaps, or South Africa? This is the tragedy of Harry's rebellion. He wanted to protect his family from the British press. Instead, he has exposed them to the geopolitical machinery of the American government. He wanted safety. He found insecurity. The clock is ticking. The DHS has given Harry 30 days to resolve the discrepancies, or face removal proceedings. Rumors are swirling that Harry might be offered a voluntary departure, a chance to leave quietly before being officially kicked out. It saves face, but the result is the same. He is banned from the US for 10 years. Will he go? Or will he stand and fight in a court battle that will broadcast every humiliating detail of his past drug use to the world? This is the ultimate poker game. Harry is betting on the US judicial system. Trump is betting on the letter of the law. Prince Harry spent his life running away. He ran away from the paparazzi. He ran away from his duty. He ran away from his family. He thought America was the finish line. He thought he could buy privacy and respect. But you cannot buy exemption from reality. As the sun sets on Montecito, the Duke of Sussex is realizing a hard truth: you can renounce your title, but you cannot renounce the consequences of your actions. Donald Trump has drawn a line in the sand. And Harry is on the wrong side of it. The prince is about to become a pauper in the currency of power. And the world is watching to see if he will be sent packing.